Hey, welcome back, everybody, and thank you so much for hanging out with me again. So, Rachel, thank you so much for sending me this message. Rachel is looking for different types of herbs that she could feed her dog. Because supplements, they've got everything in them. But if your dog's having one situation, why go with everything when you can pick out the perfect herb for your dog? So I've got the perfect book for you. In fact, check out the picture. It is Herbs for Your Pet. This is a holistic guide to taking care of your dogs, taking care of your senior dogs. This is for horses too, and cats. So I'm going to cover a couple of these that I've kind of been digging through this one where I've had this, and I do a lot of herbs for my dogs. If something pops up, my whole goal is to never put vet-recommended medications in my dog. Because as you know, they may fix one thing or they may make it a little better, but it might be doing more damage to other things. So I prefer to go 100% natural. And it's one of the reasons I am changing my entire food program again. So here's the first one. Black walnut. Okay? Black walnut. Now, before you do these things, you want to find out what percentage you put in, and go over all that. But in this book, it teaches you everything. So black walnut, let me see here. Primary medical. Black walnut expels worms. Wow. It tightens the skin and the mucus membranes and may reduce vomiting. And it can be a laxative. Black walnut. Okay, wow. Well, that is not the nut itself. It is the leaves. Okay? See, every plant has a value to it. Here's one that I never knew about until I purchased this book. And this is something we grow a lot of. And this portion of the plant gets thrown away. It is corn silk. Now, if you all know what corn silk is, it's the hairy, stringy little things that pop out of the top of your, corn cobs. We all just rip them off and throw them away. Well, stop doing it. Stop doing it. Take them out and dry them. I'm going to start freeze drying them. Let's see. Corn silk. It is a diuretic, lubricates, smooths, and protects internal mucous membranes. It is an anti-inflammatory and stimulates the liver. Now, wow, okay. That's awesome. Corn silk. Who knew? Well, the book did. Here's another one that everybody has. I have an abundance of them in my pasture. Dandelions. Dandelions, let's see, medical. It's a diuretic, stimulates the liver, stimulates salivation, and improves digestion. It's a laxative and an anti-inflammatory. I knew over the years that people use a lot of dandelion stuff if you're in holistic medicine. But your dogs, cats, horses, whatever, there you go. Now here's one that's really interesting. And especially as a breeder, I'm very interested in this. And I do grow this. Dill. Yep, dill. It expels intestinal gas, soothes the stomach. Now this one, breeders, listen up. Stimulates milk production. You have an herb that will help stimulate milk production for your moms. Holy cow. Let's see another one. This is garlic. Now, you got to remember, there is a limit to every herb you give your dog, so don't just grab a handful of garlic and feed them. You need to be specific on how much you feed, and it is all in this book. Everything's there. So let's see. Garlic. What does garlic do? Primary medical. It is an antibacterial. Stimulates the immune system. Anti-cancer. Holy cow. It is an antioxidant. It helps to lower blood pressure. And an antifungal. Now see, everything you need right there. So everything they put in your stuff you buy for your dogs, you want to go buy it at the store in a bag, and it also has chemicals in it because it has to be dried. alleviate that. Hawthorne. Let's see. Primary, it's a cardiovascular structures, lowers blood pressure, dilates blood vessels, and is an antitoxin. Jeez, I can't hardly see. I'm looking at computers. Here's one. Hops. They make beer out of them. So hops. Let's see. Did it medical? It is a sedative, a diuretic, and stimulates digestion. So instead of giving your dogs chemicals to lower their mind a bit, to sedate them down a little bit, you've got hops. Again, always check to see how much you need. Here's Juniper. And that's the juniper berries. Let's see, medical. It's a diuretic and, strengthens the kidney function, lowers blood sugar. Who knew? Lavender. Now, this is all in that book, and this book can be purchased right off of Amazon. Primary medical. Elevates mood, is antibacterial. It's an allergenic. Wow, lavender. That's interesting. Now here's one that really interests me because I have this just growing out around our chicken coops. Licorice. Not the candy licorice, the plant. Okay, let's see. It's an expectorant. Helps the blood with blood cleansing. It lubricates, soothes, and protects mucous membranes. It's an anti-inflammatory and a mild laxative. Now, if you've eaten a lot of licorice, you know it's a laxative. Okay, let's go to the next one. Now, the licorice, it's the leaves you use. Milk thistle. Everything in here is just so interesting to me. Milk thistle, primary medical, it protects and strengthens the liver. Now, see, our dogs, if you're feeding dry food, you're feeding processed food, their liver, their kidneys, their stomach, all of that is being affected by the chemicals and the processing it takes for your food. So if you can start being more natural with your dogs, like I do, I get up and cook every morning. And honestly, a lot of people tell me, it takes too much time. No, it doesn't. If you have 1 or 2 dogs, you can Sunday evening boil yourself up a big pot of your vegetables, your herbs, and your meats and everything. And I actually just got done doing it for a pup that just left. So I put it in baggies and put it in the freezer. So now all they do is just open it up. So you can do the same thing. Cook it up, separate it out, put it in containers or your, Ziploc something, and put it in your freezer. And you've got fresh food all week. So once a week is all it takes. Here's one. Nettles. Now, the way I think about nettles, I think it's stinging nettles. So I'm not sure if that's it, but it sure might be. Let's see. The medical. It's an antihistamine. Helps with blood cleansing. So interesting. Here, raspberries. Raspberry. Let's see. Primary medical. Strengthens the uterus. Huh? Wow. It is a diuretic and a laxative and a mild sedative. So don't be just pouring a bunch of berries at your dog to put him to sleep. Check out your amounts. Thyme. It is helps expel intestinal gas. That's a good one. It helps a cough suppressant, an expectorant, and expels worms. Now, wouldn't you love to find a way to combat worms in your dog? A natural way? Instead of all the time putting chemicals into them? Well, see, I'm so against anymore anything vet recommended, like pain medications and things like that, because I am 100% using nothing but cannabis for my dogs. And I've even had a couple vets go, wow, I'm in shock. When Ed lost his eye, they immediately wanted to put him on tramadol. And I'm like, nope, please do not. And you have to remember, this is your dog. You are the advocate for your dog. It's no different than your child. If there's something they want to do and you don't approve, you stop them immediately. I use cannabis. So when I told him I have a pain remedy and I want him only on that, the vet immediately said, no, we can't do it because it's still federally legal. But statewide, it is. So I said, I will come down there. It doesn't matter how many times a day I have to drive there to take care of it. I will. So I drove down there. We gave him his pain medication. The next morning, the vet walks in, sits down with me while I'm holding Ed in my lap. And he goes, I just want to tell you, I'm shocked. I'm shocked. And I'm looking at him like, okay, why? And he said, we had 5 surgeries that day. Your dog was the worst. You giving him cannabis. He was the most quiet, the calmest, no pain, no panting. He went out with them and went potty, did everything, ate, drank, and was basically a normal dog with a massive eye patch. Now, the reason it works for dogs is because dogs have receptors in their body, just as we do. So cannabis as a pain medication is the best thing. And I will do an entire video on that because you have a receptor. 1 is for the brain. Receptor 2 is in the body. Now, you'll hear your vets going, oh, no, don't never give him THC. Oh, my God, you'll kill him. You cannot kill your dog with cannabis. Receptor 1 is the brain. Receptor 2 is the body. The brainstem that controls breathing, heart, things like that, well, everything, is not affected by cannabis. Remember that. So here's another remedy for giardia. Okay, wow. 2 parts orange grape, 2 parts licorice, 2 parts cleavers. Now, it's a plant. I'm not quite sure what that is, but it's a plant. And 1 part garlic for giardia. Okay, that's awesome. Now, there are remedies for heartworm. Now, if you're giving your dog heartworm every month, you're slapping ivermectin in them. You are slapping in them different chemicals that may relieve heartworm, but cause more problems. Now, honestly, you give your dog, look it up, give your dog heartworm medication. It does not keep them from getting heartworm. And this is where I say every time, before you give any medication, research it and research it hard. So you're putting chemicals in your dog every month. It's not going to keep them from getting heartworm. Now, this book I highly recommend. So Rachel, get on Amazon. I can't remember. It wasn't very expensive. I don't know. I think maybe you paid $20 for it, but it has every remedy you can use. So don't go out there and buy all your dog supplements. They've been processed. Sorry, dog supplement companies, but you process them. There's other things in them that you don't want. And why overdo it with everything when you can go through this book and go, yeah, my dog's got some gas. Let's get the toots out. Let's give them a little bit of this in their food. It's that easy. You can take your herbs. You can dry them. Put them in jars. Now, see, on my counter, just for the dogs, there is bone meal, there is bran, there is kelp. I keep a lot of different things because I like to keep that balance with them. Now, this is an amazing book. Please, I highly recommend this book. So, Rachel, get online, grab this book, start looking at each individual issue you want to work on and work on just that instead of over supplementing them in different ways. So you guys, hey, this is a short one. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. But I thought when these things come in, I want to get on and do it right away. Why? It's fresh in my mind. And I can give you the books and give you the information to do this for yourself. So you guys take the time, cook for your dogs, build your dog food, build your supplements on your own. Herbs for Pets is amazing. And it works. I do a lot of it. But there's a lot of it in here I haven't tried yet. But if I have an issue, I research it and I go in there and I look. But I will start grabbing things. I mean, you're out and about or you want to buy yourself just a little herb garden, pick out the things you can use for you and your dog. So you guys, hey, thank you for hanging out with me. Seriously appreciate it. If you would, thumbs up, share this, like it, shoot it out there, subscribe. You guys have a great day. And we will get back at this. Please, if you have a question, shoot me a message. I love this because I am doing it different than most people do. And it works. Stop putting medication in your dog and go to a more holistic way of doing it. Get back into nature. You guys have a great day. Thanks for hanging out with me.